What's going on, fellow currency lovers? Good morning. I thought it was long overdue for a good old-fashioned bill search video. So let's go through some pocket change, see if we find things worth more than face value, or at least are collectible. Starting off with this $20 Series 2013 banknote. So, with Federal Reserve notes like these, our modern currency here in the U.S., there's a lot of things you can look for. I won't delve into every single one of them, but we'll try to touch on them as we go along. That way you can learn something if you're new to bill searching. First, I like to check the serial numbers. I don't see anything in this one as far as a fancy or pattern serial number. So next, I like to look for ink issues that are just readily apparent. So that's stuff that's pretty dramatic, obviously. That would be smears in ink. You have little dotting of ink down here. That's pretty common when it comes to anything that's printed. You're going to get little abnormalities, a little bit of stray stuff. But in paper currency, you're going to want those things that are kind of obvious to the naked eye. Other things to look for is going to be errors, of course. Well, while we're touching on it, this right here is a good one. Bring it closer to the camera there. You can see how that serial number from the front of the note is visible through the back. I get asked about this a lot. I would suggest holding on to them if it is a legible serial number in its entirety, or a lot of it, or it's obscuring a portion, in this case, of the White House. Other things, like I was about to say, would be errors. That would be an error. It'd be a print error in a sense, or an over ink. But it's not dramatic enough in this case for me to hold on to. Other errors that you'd want to keep an eye out for is stuff that's misprinted, misprint error, shifts in the print, things that are out of place, so on and so forth. So Series 2013 $1 note. I'll go a little bit quicker through these. $1 notes haven't changed since the 50s, so we don't have anything to talk about there. All they did was add "In God We Trust" onto them. They were talking about doing some changes in currency, but then we had the pandemic happen, and that kind of brushed that to the wayside. It would have been nice if that was a fold-over error. Fold-over errors are when the bill itself gets crimped in the printing process. It usually happens to corner notes on the sheet. They're printed in 32-note sheets. In this case, we almost have a date note, too, if we would have had 4 different digits on the end here. So, keyword is almost. January 29th, blah, 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 blah. If that would have been a 4-year date, that would have been a date note or birthday note, which are highly collectible, as many people like to sell them to friends and loved ones that share that birthday. Nothing there. Those are both 2017 notes, so the only difference is, of course, aside from other notes, is going to be the signatures on the bottom. Nothing in the serial number. And that previous note did have a little bit of a shift on the seal, but it's not something that I want to hold on to since it still sits atop the word 1. So that's kind of a rule of thumb for me. When they're shifted over, as you can see, this one's slightly shifted. It should be sitting where the edge of this seal for the Department of the Treasury touches this little chevron a little bit. So if we bring it really close, you can see it's like a super minor shift. Nothing that anyone's going to pay over $1 for. Just an idea of something to keep an eye out for. There. Nice little date note, February 9th, 861. So I know what you're thinking. Nah, that's not a birthday note, but somebody was born that day. But no one that's alive today, unless they're immortal or some sort of vampire, which is also immortal, but by much sinister means. Much more sinister means, I should say. But anyway, vampires aside, date notes are cool to me. I like to keep them and look up whether something historically important happened on that day. And I'll put that in the description box below if it did. Otherwise, this bill is a little bit beat up. It's got a couple little folds here and stuff like that. So nothing too crazy to call home about. Things to keep an eye out on the reverse of notes is stuff around the seals. There's so much detail on $1 notes with the seals depiction on the back of the note to keep an eye out for. But I'm going to hold on to that for just a date note. Pretty high serial number as far as this 2013 series. I just look at a lot of them. Now, a really good thing, you can go to our website, varietyairs.com, but I'm not going to lie. I like to go to My Currency Collection, and I've been using that for 15 plus years. So, you can look up the run number by searching the serial number of your note. It'll tell you everything you need to know about that note. I love those people over there. They have a bunch of really good guys and gals that run that website. So we have a link share over to them, even though they, for shamed, don't share to our website. But I just love their stuff. I can't help but share to them, as I think it's an invaluable tool for fellow bank note collectors. Nothing in the serial number here. If we would have had a 2 here, we would have had ourselves a broken ladder being 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would have been stellar. A broken ladder is just that. A ladder is when it's in either ascending or descending order. For the digits, it does not have to be 0 through 7, but it has to be one of each digit. So I know that was probably the most confusing way to say that, but I think you understand. 2013 note. 2013 and 2017 are going to be the most common that we come across in our bill searches as of right now, since those are the most prevalent in circulated currency. Another good point here is if you notice, the seals and serial numbers are quite brighter than the rest of the note. So some of you are like, well, that's weird. Why did it wear like that? Good question. That's actually due to the kind of intaglio printing process that we do. Some things are printed on the bill, some things are printed in the bill. So there's variation in the degrees of wear that those aspects of the bill will undergo during circulation. Nothing there. A lot more crisp of a bill. You could hear that old crisp as can be. I like that. A little bit better of a search if it was something collectible. Of course, you know, condition plays a role into virtually anything. I mean, I make videos about other collectibles and stuff, even Legos, vinyls, comics, anything that you collect or I collect. You know, condition's a big part of it. I mean, of course, if something's incredibly rare, you're going to get some value for it, but the value is going to be increased. And in this case, the premium over the face value is going to be increased if the condition of the bill is more desirable. And 2013 note for this $5 note. I really like $5 notes after the redesign in the early 2000s. I just think they're really nice looking, regardless of nature of the depiction, whether you care about Lincoln or the Lincoln Monument. But the Lincoln Monument is really, really neat as far as just its architectural substance, as well as just the actual subject of what it's designed after, of course, being Lincoln. So it's important to U.S. history. A little bit of an over-ink on the 2s here, but that's really common on Series 2013, so I won't harp on that. In many videos you see me talk about that, and I don't hold on to it. Well, I'm lying. I've held on to a couple, I know, for you people that watch my videos regularly, but either way, that's so common, unless it's really dramatic, I would not hold on to it. And a couple repetitious digits here, a nice piece of lint or hair or something. Little bit of schmudgel here. That is not a shade of ink from, like, say, this color changing ink used for the eagle crest here. There's nothing to call home about there. A little bit of a burn mark or coffee stain or something like that. So once again, if this was collectible, these little tears, these stains, stuff like that are going to draw away from the value of the bill if it was over this $20 face value. So a lot smaller bill search today. What did we hold on to? Just this little guy, a nice little date note, Series 2013 $1 note. Everything else is sitting appropriately as far as where it should be printed. And by that I mean there's no shifts in the serial numbers or anything that I notice. We'll do a quick close scan across the bill to see if anything else pops out at us. Let me know if you noticed anything in these bills through this search that I didn't touch on. A lot of you know more than I do, and I love learning from everyone in the comments. I try to get to all the comments as I can. But once again, you guys are just as valuable as I am when it comes to these videos. If you know the answer to a question in the comments below, do not hesitate to help out your fellow collector. Thank you so much for coming to another bill search video here on Variety and Errors. Check out our free guides, our free downloads, free PDF coin booklets on VarietyErrors.com. There is no cost to them. Check those out. I hope you have a wonderful day, and happy hunting in your coin and bill searches. See you later.